Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Meena every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share with friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Today we have Saffron Tiger back with us. Thank you, Saffron, for joining us.
Thank you, Meena ji, and thank you to all our viewers for the constant support and encouragement. And it is because of them that we are able to conduct these sessions and raise the voice for justice. So thank you for having me once
And
again.
also, one piece of good news is that Saffron said he'll take out time every Saturday to be with us, which is good news for you.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. We should do one session every week. And I
Yeah,
think Saturday is the best day, I think, which suits both of us.
yeah.
And we will continue to talk about all the important issues and clean the filth that is present in our country.
In fact, all the people look forward to your sessions, Saffron.
That's
So
my
they're
proud
already
privilege, ma'am.
waiting.
I think, yeah. I think that's my proud privilege that we share so many important things and the issues, and it's always a pleasure to be on your channel.
Yeah, thank you so much. So let's start with the first piece of news, Saffron. Despite it's strange that see we have a government that's in the center, that's BJP, but it's the Congress that is now saying why is the CBI dragging its feet on the SSR case? So this time it's Congress leader Sachin Sawant. The Maharashtra Pradesh Congress Committee General Secretary Sachin Sawant has targeted the CBI inquiry into the death of Sushant Singh Rajput after paying tribute to the Bollywood actor on his birthday. He said 534 days of CBI took charge and 474 days since AIIMS ruled out murder. CBI, which shows extraordinary efficiency in investigating matters related to opposition leaders, continues to drag its feet on the SSR case. The investigation has been a hoax and disgrace to the renowned institution, he claimed. Sawant, who has been quite critical about the CBI probe, he said, tribute to a talented actor Sushant Singh Rajput on his birth anniversary. His unfortunate death was horribly misused by the Modi government and BJP for cheap electoral gains in Bihar. Cheap stunt to defame and destabilize the Mahavikas Agadi government. He claimed there has been a deliberate and convenient silence of CBI, which should immediately clarify the current status of the probe. Who is pressurizing investigation in Maharashtra pending and inconclusive, he asked. The then Bihar Director General of Police, Gupteshwar Pandey, was used for this. The BJP stooped to a very low level, which they openly leveled murder and rape charges and even used his death in the Bihar elections, he said. He demanded that BJP should apologize to the people of Maharashtra for the defamation of the state in this case. So it's very, very strange that Congress, usually which is in the eye of the storm, a party which is always, in the eye of storm, suddenly, bats for Sushant Singh. And we also know, Saffron, who are the people involved in the murder of Sushant. So, what do you think of this? Yeah, tell me about your.
Ma'am, this is a classic example of recrimination game being played by the political parties. When the unfortunate murder of SSR happened, at that time, all these governments that are that are blaming the agency, at that time they were tight-lipped. At that time there were leaders from the central government. Some
Yeah,
leaders, I would say not all, but some leaders were raising this issue of justice for Sushant Singh Rajput and justice for Disha Salian. But people from the Agadi government and Congress government, they were tight-lipped on these issues. Now, after after almost like we are into it's been 1.5 years now,
yeah,
and there has been no measurable update from any agencies. So it clearly looks like a reverse game is being played of recrimination, where Congress government is saying that uh, this CBI, a central agency which is so efficient in finding in coming up with investigations against the opposition parties, is not doing anything and continues to drag its feet on SSR case.
yeah,
The last time, when the central government apparently in some ways took advantage of this was during the Bihar elections. These, every event is tied to some kind of importance, in my belief. And at that time, if the results are not shown, then you can't expect much. And that is the classic example of what we are seeing in SSR case. Now it's been like 1.5 years, no measurable update from agencies. So Congress government is trying to push the buck back on the central government, saying that what is there, that means that it was all a hoax, there nothing came up, right? There's in fact even like, let alone central agency, in fact even AIMS has been very tight-lipped. Remember, there was a phase when everybody was like keenly waiting for an update from AIMS about the report, but there was no conclusion on it. There was no statement, no official statement. There was fake news spread by the media, which has been paid by the Aghadi government. So you see that it's a very dirty game that we have seen in SSR case. And I think the very sheer tension because of the murder of SSR, that the global attention that this case got, it has resulted into a lot of, I would say, narratives. Most of them are fake narratives. Some of them are like very factual, based on the circumstantial evidences and the pictures and the information in
True.
public domain. But I feel that the agencies and the government has failed us in progressing this case towards the right direction.
See, also, while I agree 100% with this Congress minister or whoever he is, one thing, what I really always, get surprised by Congress is that, how they play the double game, as you said. See, first, you remember Nirupam, I forget his full name,
Sanjay
Nirupam,
Nirupam.
huh?
Sanjay Nirupam.
Uh, the Congress guy, Nirupam,
Yes, yes, yes. Who
yeah,
was also
yeah.
like in news in the SSR
Yes,
case.
at that
Yes,
time he was. See, he was. He said that Sandeep Singh was with him when this happened. The
right.
death happened, and Sandeep Singh said no, he was in his flat. Okay, so already the planning had started by the Congress to hide the murder, and very specifically, this Nirupam Pandey, I think, no, I'm not too sure. Anyway, Nirupam said that he went to the police and also informed them, please do not show any pictures of Sushant Singh, the last moments of Sushant Singh. Okay, why was that? Okay, that's the second point. Third point was the ambulance that was used to take Sushant was actually it belonged to a Congress MLA, okay, which was converted. It is a travel vehicle converted into an ambulance. So you see, in every step of the game, Congress was a part of it. Now, for him to very conveniently say that BJP has not done anything about it, which is right. BJP has to sort of fast track the case. I 100% agree with him. But if he is trying to act innocent, or his party is trying to act innocent, or the tripartite party is trying to act innocent, they're not innocent because at every stage they were involved. And all these people who are together in it, they would have planned the whole thing, even to fudge the whole thing and remove all evidences. So it's a part of the a dirty game that they play in every point. So what I say, Saffron, is that BJP should not act weak. Okay, they took the front this thing step of saying that okay, let's let the CBI probe, and they also showed support initially. But what happens is every time BJP has a very weak voice, okay, and I think is because certain ministers or certain politicians in their party are very closely tied to the Bollywood people, and see, they would keep asking them to perhaps support them, and these are the moles that are preventing this. 100% I agree that these are the moles that are preventing it. Even now, recently, I was finding one of the ministers, praising, Ekta's child, saying that she is her aunt, the child's aunt, and another one praising, Mauni Roy, who's just a star. What do you call her? Just not even a starlet. Just hardly has any movies, and we all know the girl's background, okay, and the kind of wedding it was, and you're endorsing people who we don't find straight. So there's something very hanky-panky in that. So why is she playing this double game where she supports Bollywood and at the same time the party is trying to say that they're going to make sure that the SSR, murder is solved? So which line are you towing? Is it this line or that line? Isn't it?
And I think this all these incidents that we are seeing in front of our eyes, it just goes to show how well knit this cabal is, regardless of the parties, regardless of the line of business, like whether it is politics, whether it is Bollywood, whether it is cricket, they are
Yes,
all
agreed with that.
interconnected with each other. There
Yes.
are moles in every parties. There might be some good people in opposition, there will be some good people in the ruling party, but there is a lot of filthy people involved in all of these lines of businesses, so to speak. And they are all well knit, well acquainted with each other's dirty, I would say, like, skeletons in the closets. And
See, I'll tell
what
you
you
one
are
thing
seeing.
here, Saffron. I'll just interrupt you here. I'll tell you one thing. I don't know whether you noticed. The moment he died, the kind of message, two messages came simultaneously, you know, in Republic. One was Ekta Kapoor, immediately followed by Smriti. So the message was almost the same. Why did you go so soon? So how did they assume it was a suicide? Immediately, she understood her mistake. She withdrew the tweet. Okay. So you see, messages are being given, you know, as to what to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like mutual back patting and saving each other's back. I got your back, you got my back, and that is the
Yeah.
game is being played. And when somebody, like, all these, one of these perpetrators gets exposed badly in front of public, then they turn against the very own their very own friend with whom they had planned this criminal act.
Yeah.
I would say, since you mentioned incident, like this event of this Congress leader talking about
Yeah.
targeting the agencies and the BJP government, I would say this is like altogether a different. This is no different than how political leaders and the law enforcement officers are targeting each other. Now, look what is happening in this Mansukh Hiren case. Look what is happening in the Antila bomb case.
Yeah.
This Hafta Minister of Nationalist Collection Party, Anil Deshmukh, is targeting the targeting the law enforcement officer Parambir Singh, with whom he had planned to extort bars and various other businesses in Mumbai for so
Yeah.
long time, right?
Mm,
And
mm.
now the very same minister is saying that Parambir Singh is the mastermind for Mansukh Hiren death case. So you see how they are playing this game of recrimination, blaming each other when they get exposed. But
Yeah.
when everything is hunky dory, they want to commit all these criminal acts, work together, and keep like doing whatever has been happening in Mumbai and other parts of the country for eons. I would say
Yeah.
all this filth has been happening for decades, ever since the advent of underworld activities in the country.
Yeah. Also, see, an important point since you mentioned this now. See, you remember he was reinstated on June 6th. 8th, Disha was killed. 7th was the party. Okay,
So
so
what
the
was the
party
need?
at this.
What was the need to
Yeah,
reinstate?
yeah,
What was the need to
exactly,
reinstate?
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, and the party was on 7th. 8th, she was killed, and also people say, like you also know, some people said they saw him at SSR's house that night, the night before. We don't know whether it's true, okay, but he was definitely there at Cooper Hospital. We could see him there. What was his role in Cooper Hospital? And why was he with the suspicious Sandeep Singh and Suraj Singh? Isn't it? So everything, so this whole thing, like Tornado is saying, now he's throwing Param under the bus, which is very true, making him a scapegoat. But the fact is that they were all in it together. Each was enjoying the fruits of their own evil. Okay, so now for
absolutely.
Congress to say that BJP is not doing anything, or this, the CBI is not doing anything, doesn't show that they are innocent either.
Yeah, man. I think we have seen all these events in this case for way too long to call the bluffs of these leaders,
Yeah,
regardless of the party they are in. I think BJP has used this case as much as Congress has, for their political gains. One has portrayed Tai in a very victim state, like how much she has suffered and what she had to go through, while she is like happily getting all the endorsements, she's happily posting on Instagram, and she's in a la la land. She got even like some good movie offers according to her. And all these
yeah,
actors have surreptitiously, they have gone very quiet about
yeah,
SSR case. Nobody wants to discuss. Even people like Kangna Ranawat, who was
yeah.
so much in the forefront. Tell me this one of these celebrities who has not used SSR case for their fame or their followers or whatever it is, for sensationalism. uh, some In some or the other form, these celebrities have misused, I would say,
Yeah.
misused SSR case, and now they have gone suddenly quiet. There was once one of my followers had sent me a clip where Kangna Ranawat steps out of a car and some reporter asks her, "Ma'am, would you like to say something on SSR case?" And the kind of expression she made,
Uh,
it
uh,
was like, like she was disgusted by it. And this is the same Kangna Ranawat
yeah.
who came on a mainstream media channel saying that मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ, मेरे साथ वैसा हुआ, I was treated like a black cat in the dark room and
Yeah.
whatnot. All those things she said. And look what has
Yeah.
happened now.
Exactly. See, in fact, I don't know, Saffron, whether you listen to this show of this medium, Christian. She's very clearly said, you remember, in the case of Sridevi, she very clearly said that Boni M, I'm saying, sorry, it's not the band, Boni Kapoor. Boni Kapoor is the one who killed Sridevi. Clearly says that the spirit is saying that she was killed by Boni. And also, something very surprising, Saffron, is that she said that this is all because of a sex nexus, where young girls and boys are being, given for favors, okay, which means political favors, business favors, and that Boni is a part of it, you know. So very clearly now, Crystal is just saying what the spirit is saying. So it's not something that we all don't know about. We know the sex trafficking thing is a big thing there. Okay, we all know how things are, done in Bollywood to get something out of people, because the very fact that only certain actors, I think we've been repeating quite a few times, is that certain actors get advertisements. There are times, like, like even yesterday, I was just watching the show. How many times Akshay Kumar's ad comes, whether it is for some funds, premium funds or mutual funds, or for some oil like Fortune, or for brushing his teeth, or for some drainage problems. Some, God, you mean to say there's no other person who can model for that? And this man has become a grandfather. High time they took youngsters. And why do you need known names to sell these very mediocre items? And then just when you finish, you have Sara Ali coming. You know, so it's very clear. I don't know. In fact, I wanted to discuss this with you, Saffron. See, uh, I noticed this only a day or two back. This what do you call Rajnikant's son-in-law acted with her in Atrangi. So there's a shot in the those YouTube small bits where she puts her hand in his and walks with him. Okay, and you wouldn't know. I saw a little bit a longer version of the video recently, and you know what he does? He shakes it off. Okay, and then she looks at him in a shocked way, and he looks at her angrily, and then again she goes to him and she pats his his chest. You know, and again he does something to remove her hand. So there's something very fishy there, because I felt as though she was trying to control him.
Which actress? Which actress?
Sara Ali Khan.
Okay, yeah. So, ma'am, clearly, to some extent, I would say, to some extent, Bollywood is rattled. They are still heavily investing in their PR agencies and looking for options to make money out of other streams. And that's why you are seeing that there are more ads, more initiatives, more whitewashing initiatives of these actors being shown to the people, to show them that how down to earth they are, how they are connected with the soil and things like that. And another aspect of it is also that these actors are trying to get some foothold in the South film industries.
Yeah.
So, be it Mollywood, Tollywood, or other places where they can publicize themselves and get a foothold, because they have seen that Bollywood has been deeply exposed. Movies of Salman are not doing well. There is, like, they've seen that, like, it's a big risk investing in a Bollywood movie, because you don't know if an A-lister's movie is not doing well, if Akshay Kumar has to make videos and beg to people to watch his films in theaters, then what can you say about other people, right? And that's why you are seeing that, just like how the matinee shows were given to small players, so like tier 2 actors or tier 3 actors, and all the prime time shows in theaters and multiplexes were given to the A-listers back in those days. Now you are seeing that the ad spaces are being occupied by the Khans and the Kumars. And even in, like, South film industry, you are seeing, like, Sunil Shetty acted in one movie, uh, and then few others, like, other actresses are going to come into the movies in southern film industry. So
Yeah.
you can see that Bollywood is trying to look for alternatives,
Yeah.
whether be it through, they are also invested a lot in real estate, what
Yeah.
I've heard. And they are also trying to invest a lot into other software companies and ventures that are coming up,
Okay.
because they need to get their money. There's a lot of black money that is involved. People are they are scared to make cash transactions, so they operate through these money
They go there.
laundering techniques and hawala techniques to convert their money. There are so many businessmen who have their black money, who are closely connected to these producers and directors, and that's how most of these movies are being made. But
Yeah.
one thing
Absolutely.
to see one thing to see here is that even the daughters of the A-lister actors like Sara Ali Khan and others, how they are trying to control people from a
Yeah.
completely different film
Exactly.
industry, just like you
Exactly.
said.
And you should have seen his expression. He was so, just feeling so annoyed. So here is an interesting comment from Karthik who says, Madam, Dhanush's marriage was already on the rocks, and it is said that Rajnikant had forced them to be together twice in the past years when they were about to break up. Perhaps that's not related at all, because here I feel that he is now in the control of the cabal. And a part of the cabal is this lady as well, I feel. I'm not sure. So this could be one of the reasons. So coming back to the point, Saffron, where you said you were talking about Gangana. Now, see, Ekta Kapoor has launched a program called Lock Up with Kangana Ranaut as the hostess. Now, she has done a complete U-turn, and now she praises Ekta Kapoor as if she is a goddess. Now, this program was launched in JW Marriott, and they say that they're only going to get celebrities for the show, and that it will involve about 16 contestants, and there'll be around 72 shows. So, what is the? So she says it's completely different from any other show in the OTT platform, and there's nothing like that. Okay, so maybe perhaps hinting at Big Boss. Now, the thing is that they'll be locked in this for a certain amount of days, and they'll be that's the time when they'll be exposed. Now, apparently, the celebrities who will come will expose a lot, which I mean not only mentally but physically. So that is the criteria as far as Ekta Kapoor is concerned. And if you ask me who is the first contestant, it is Poonam Pandey. Okay. Now, joining this line will soon be people like Shilpa Shetty, Urvashi Rauthela, or Mauni Roy. But again, they are not celebrities; they are just small starlets. Now, looking at the list of people they have selected, these are all B-grade television actors. So I don't know where the celebrities are coming into this picture. Anyway, this is supposed to be the way they are going to woo people. Now, how is it different from Big Boss? I don't understand, because they'll be put in a cell or a jail, and they'll have to do all these things. And the second thing they say is that they will be revealing a lot. Okay, perhaps in Big Boss they don't reveal that much, so that will be the only different aspect here. And it will be decided by votes, which is 50% by the hostess and 50% by the audience. Now, see one thing, Saffron. See, when Raj Kundra was caught in the porn case, strangely, Ekta was not caught, despite the fact that her series are even more vulgar. Okay, and you also remember there were so many FIRs against her previously, with regards to offending the army, okay, and many other such situations where she's been caught, and yet she's been released with just a small apology. So when you have some godfather, you tend to push this things till you see how much you can go, how much further you can go, because the more further you go, nobody's going to catch you because you're safe. So what do you think about this new program that Ekta is coming with?
Ma'am, according to me, it is a sasta version of this Big Boss. So if Big Boss is MDMA, then
Yeah,
this lockup is like Sasti Charas, which you
yeah,
will get in some village,
mm,
and amongst hooligans, and nothing else is expected of them. And even the kind of people who are going to be in part of the show, they are all like, I would say that there are like all Sasta versions of Rakhi Sawants of Bollywood. They are just going to pull each other's hair, give all the filthy abuses to each other. And I don't know, what they are trying to prove. All these audience polls and all those things, they are such a sham. I think it is all, everything is decided, what they are going to do and what they are going to speak. All of that is scripted. Now, you mentioned a point where you said that Raj Kundra was under the scanner and taken into custody, but nothing happened to Ekta Kapoor. And that also goes to show that there could be a possibility that Raj Kundra maybe owed money to the underworld or some of these politicians per se, and which he was not able to return for whatever reason, and that's why he was put under scanner. So these people are not loyal to their friends also. यहाँ पे कोई किसी के सगे नहीं है ये लोग,
mm,
ये आपस में ही एक दूसरे के खिलाफ चले जाते हैं। जब क्राइम करते हैं तो साथ में मिलके they will loot the entire city, all the businesses up to the tunes of 100 crores per month. But
yeah,
when it comes to an expose, then they turn against each other. Now,
yeah,
can you imagine that the home minister saying that Mansukh Hiren murder case or Antilia bomb case mein Parambir Singh is the mastermind. If he knew this, why he waited up until he was arrested and interrogated by the ED? He said that
yeah,
to ED. So I don't get that. Why do these people, if they are holding positions of power and they could
yeah,
literally make difference if their conscience was clean? But talking about Hafta Minister of Nationalist Collection Party, he himself is closely connected to 6 shell companies. One
yeah,
of the major company being based out of Kolkata in the region, which has over 300 to 400 shell companies. और उसकी जो एक company है, that is owned by 4 other companies, which are
yeah,
owned again by 2 other companies. So you see that the nexus. Why does he need 6 shell companies? Obviously, there is exchange of money happening in form of bribes, in form of money laundering, in form of all the financial irregularities. And where is this money coming from? It is coming from the taxes that we the commoners are paying. It is coming from the movies that we are watching. It is coming from all the things that we are doing. We are going to their promotional events, we are watching them on TV, all the ad rights, copyrights, all of this stuff. where is this money coming from? It is coming from our pocket, which is used
Yeah.
by underworld, which is used by politicians, which is used
Mm.
by the law enforcement agencies as well. And still they don't deliver us the results that they are ought to do. They are
Yeah.
under the oath to serve the people, but they do exactly the opposite of it.
Yeah. In fact, a person is saying, I think it is, just looking at the name, a lady was asking, Tulip, I think. Anyway, let me just go to the question itself. She was saying that, see, why Priyanka and the other sisters are not going approaching the Supreme Court for, to pull up the CBI. Now, because they say that they can't do it, you know. So apparently, you were talking about that. You said in this Padma show something happened. If you could just explain that, yeah.
Oh, I think she questioned actions and the choices made by sisters, and she said that like if I saw a bit of it, so I think she said something along the lines of, if the sister was present there, could she not see the injuries on her brother's dead body? His back was broken, the legs and the bones were broken. There were so many injury marks on the body, and still 306 was filed and not 302. And why was she not present at Cooper Hospital? If something like, if her brother was dead, she should
Yeah.
have been there. It was her responsibility to be there. And some strange guy in form of Snake Singh is acting the project manager of the entire event there and taking things to charge. So all of these things she spoke about, and some of them were very valid points, I would say. uh, some of the points were the ones which I don't agree with, but I feel that the sisters could have done better in
Yeah.
this. They are giving reasons that they are under a legal case. There is an ongoing investigation, okay, which I don't think that it should preclude. I don't think that anything that you or me says or the sister says is going to change the course of investigation. I
Yeah.
don't believe that. I personally don't believe that anything that sisters say is going to change the course of investigation. The agencies don't care uh, what what uh, what statements are being given in public domain. All they
Mm.
care about is the facts related to the events and the evidence. We know that the evidence has been tampered, manipulated, compromised in SSR case.
Yeah.
But I think people expected a lot from the sisters because they were sisters, they were blood relatives. Some of the sisters are blood relatives of SSR, and while others were related to him,
Yeah.
so they could have done better. And I feel that some of their choices have been like uh, not in line with what the masses would think they should be, and I feel the
Also,
same.
yeah. Also, when Sushant's body was in the, on the bed, we saw the kind of marks that were there on his face, his hands, his leg it was broken. Now, any other sister, see, it's a sister or a brother. The relationship is so close. You will know every mark on a person's body. Okay, if you know your brother or sister so well, and the police were also saying that, see, please don't let this go out because then people will assume some other things. So when a police also speaks in such a sinister manner, how can the sister keep quiet? Okay, the sister was behaving in a very calm manner. She didn't seem upset, even when she was down with Sandeep Singh. She was actually looking at her hair, touching her hair. It wasn't the kind of emotional feeling that, of course, people behave in different ways when a tragedy strikes. So we can't say that she didn't undergo that. But what occurred, what seemed obvious is that she was very little moved by what happened. It wasn't a death, it was a murder. Everybody knows that for clear. Okay. Now, the first thing that the sisters or the anybody else in the family should do is ask the police, how did this happen? So when you allow a stranger to do everything, it's like hosting an event, of a marriage, and say that he's going to take them to postmortem, he's going to take him for, a cremation. Who is he? They say they don't know him. He wasn't connected to them. Is it so easy for the sisters to say you don't you don't know him, but still he'll manage the show? You know. So these are the things that make you upset.
Well, these are only some of the things. The sisters are openly flaunting their support to people
Yes,
like Crocodile
crocodile.
and
Yes,
smugglers. So I
yeah,
think that there is definitely a lot more things that are hidden from the public, but people are seeing through the bluff. And I will speak for myself. I did not come into this movement to support sisters. I came here for justice for SSR,
yeah,
and for all the right reasons. Like, there is always going to be support to the family, the poor father who has lost his son.
yeah,
But if there is any wrong decision being or wrong choices are being made, then yes, people are going to speak about it, and
yeah,
you have to just chin up and live with it. I mean, there
yeah,
are many people in this movement, including myself, who has committed mistakes, and I have to live with it for the rest
yeah.
of my life, as I should, and as I would, and as anybody should, face their karma. So I feel that the sisters could have done better. uh, they are saying that they are bound by legal things, so maybe that could be true, maybe it may not be true, but I
No,
feel
that
that
comes at a later stage, Saffron. That comes at a later stage. Okay, the first stage is that they were trying to botch the whole scene. Now you've seen that when it's a police, when it's a murder, how the police cordon up the whole area. Here you find the servant taking everything from the furniture, in big black big black bags. What all has gone into that? Nobody knows.
correct. See,
So everything
one
was
thing,
happening. Suddenly, a mysterious girl comes in. Who is she? How was she allowed into the scene? And what is this Sandeep Singh trying to say that he is going to conduct the whole thing? Who gave him the authority? Sisters
I
say they
think
don't know.
I think one other thing that Dr. Padma said was that अगर वहां पे ऐसा मर्डर हुआ है या फिर कुछ भी fishy लग रहा है आपको, तो sisters could have stayed there, because that apartment
It's the
was
time when you can protect. Yeah,
yeah, whitewashed. The
yeah,
evidence was tampered with, it was painted, and everything was changed. All these things were coming into news. So yes, they could have done certain things, but at least, if not all those things, they could have voiced uh, a lot earlier. But that being said, I don't think that it would have made any difference. Like, people are exposing themselves, their
okay,
actions are
one more
also
point, Saffron. One more point. Okay, now the sisters are coming out openly in the social media. They have come in Varun's channel. They've come in Ujwal's channel. I don't know whether they've come in any other channel. I'm not sure. Anyway, we have approached them. Okay, there has been no response. Okay, twice I've approached her, asking her. Now, if she's so open and she can come in channels, then she can surely come in our channel because we've been in the forefront as well. Okay. Now, Smita Parik is someone who doesn't like my channel. Nilotpal is someone who doesn't like my channel because indirectly we've been exposing them. Now, if they are guided by these people, then there's something else going on. Because I see the sisters always praising. I think it was Priyanka who was praising these characters. Why do you need to praise them? You're talking about your brother. It is a murder. Okay. Now, if these people have physically done something for you, fine. Just by putting you on a channel and telling you to speak is not a big favor. You can go to any channel. You can go to Republic or you can go to any channel. But you are selecting channels of your choice. And that too only under the guidance of these people, which means you're covering up for something. So, that's why I'm sorry. I can only say sorry to the sisters that, see, you're not coming out truthfully. Now, what are your compulsions? We do not know. Okay. So please do not play the other game. If you really have compulsions, keep quiet. That will be better than spreading the wrong message.
exactly. You
Yeah.
cannot conveniently come on one channel and say
Yeah.
things, and
Yeah.
then say that, oh, I'm not talking because I'm bound by legal things, right?
Yes.
You cannot say
Exactly.
these things. So it
Yes.
puts you, like, it's like shows that there are like multiple faces of yours. And I
Yeah.
feel that one of the things that just came to my mind was that uh, they are so brainwashed by Crocodile and her cabal, that now I don't think that we should even give that much importance to what
Exactly.
the family
Exactly.
is thinking. I think we need to, and I wouldn't say family, I would just say the sisters.
Yeah,
I think we
exactly.
should,
You can't
yeah.
say talk about the father. Yes, absolutely.
I think, yeah, I think one of the comments was there that it is strange that any session that this sisters do, there is always crocodile there. So why
Yeah,
is she there?
yeah,
In fact, when in fact, not only when sister, but even when Samir Wankhede is there, crocodile will be there
yeah.
every single time. So she is clearly there to gain footage. I won't be surprised that in couple of years you will see her, or even sooner, you might see her contesting or joining politics, because dal
In
roti
fact,
kahin na kahin se to chalani
in one of
padegi.
the channels, I think in Varun's channel, she said she's going to give an award to Samir Wankade. Now, how come her award is important?
Who is
Who is
she
she?
to give an award,
Yeah, who
right?
is she? And what is her this thing, social status? Okay, there's nothing except she was called in initially by Republic. That's when we realized there's a character, called this. Other than that, nobody knows her. Very strange.
Yeah,
You
there
know.
are still viewers. There are still viewers in the comment section asking who is crocodile. I think they don't know. I think somebody will answer them. But I think, ma'am, what I see is that this crocodile has penetrated so much and brainwashed, and I think the sisters have easily been brainwashed, and now they think that it is best to be on sides of crocodile, because
Yeah.
yes, crocodile has been promoted by our very own dear Arnab,
Yeah.
and there is also another colleague of ex-colleague of Arnab who runs around crocodile, saying that,
Blah
like,
blah.
मैं जन की बात करूंगा, मैं जन की बात करूंगा,
More
जन
of
की
blah
बात.
blah.
Yeah, 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 all those things. So they have all made their, like, gained whatever they wanted to, and now they are just playing, like, mutual black back fondling is happening.
Yeah,
There are initiatives
interestingly,
going.
let me make one more point across, because so interestingly, when you go through it, some of the memories come back. There was another friend of Sushant's. You remember, he was there with him all the time. I forget his name. He was also there near the building where Sushant stayed. He came. You remember, there were photographs of him coming in. And you know what Nilotpal said in one of his tweets? Please do not question him. Mahesh, something Mahesh. Okay. Please do not question him, because he's supposed to be a witness. Now, how the hell did this guy Nilotpal know that he's going to become a witness in court? Okay, so where is the information? And then in another thing, when somebody asked, who is this Nilotpal? Apparently, the family also doesn't know him. When this case started, he used to walk along with the family, and that's how he came to know about the SSR case. That's
I'm a
how he's connected.
lot earlier into the. I'm talking about, like, just months, several, like few months after SSR's murder, when this guy Nilotpal had attacked me. I got an indirect message from sisters that, like, can you tell Saffron not to not to get involved in this thing, because we are from, like, we all, like, she included me as well, that we are from some good families, and then people like
Yes,
smuggler,
Mahesh Shetty. Yeah.
yeah, people like
Mm.
smuggler, they are having questionable integrity. But I don't think I don't think uh, that the family does not know uh, the smuggler. They might be saying it, but they do, like, they never say anything against him. And I think that is one of the reasons why the family is trying to keep a safe distance from him.
Yeah.
And it's the smuggler who tries to, infiltrate into family matters and try
Yeah.
to act as if he's very close
Yeah.
to.
He's the godfather. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the
In fact,
godfather.
see, recently for the birthday, a lot of the women, like I told you last time, you were there and doing all these rituals, very, very sort of, what do you say, in a very sincere manner. And one of the ladies who's a part of our group as well, a Candid Meena family also, she was also there. Now, these people didn't take the credit. They went, they did their duty, they fell for Sushant, they did it. Now, in the evening, this guy comes in late night and he says that he's in front of Sushant's house. So, so what? Okay, these things, this memorabilia has been put by the women there. Okay, and he did not speak. So I don't know in what state he would have been at that time. So we do not know, what time it was and what condition. Okay. Now, one thing is very clear since he wants to become a politician. By making all these groups in Telegram and all that, perhaps there is a way to get a database so that he can increase his database when it's time for him to be launched as a politician. You remember there were so many pictures of him with Suraj Pancholi and other
Right.
characters. If you ask him, he will start charging like a dinosaur. You know, I mean, aren't you? If you want to be in the public eye, better be prepared for people to ask you questions. Don't say that you can't be asked any questions. So when these very dicey characters are standing with the sisters, doubts will come out. And when the sisters sort of endorse them, it means all the more it becomes more suspicious. You know, like for example, Saffron, if I'm talking to you, if I keep on praising you, there must be something very fishy happening. So that's the kind of scenario that they have created.
I think, ma'am, it doesn't take a genius to understand. It doesn't take a genius to understand that someone so intelligent like Sushant would ever surround himself by people like the choreographer Ganesh Hivarkar or
Yeah,
Crocodile or the smuggler, aka Elephant, right? So these people, I mean, it doesn't take a genius.
yeah,
Any normal human being who has seen couple of SSR movies or knew him would know that SSR would never surround himself with such people. और अभी ये लोग सामने इसीलिए आए क्योंकि सुशांत नहीं है, सुशांत जिंदा नहीं है बोलने के लिए कि भाई मैं इन आई डोंट वांट टू यूज द वर्ड बट अ वेरी एप्ट वर्ड इज कमिंग फॉर ऑल दीज कैरेक्टर्स. ये इन लोगों से रिलेटेड नहीं हूँ ये बोलने के लिए सुशांत जिंदा नहीं है. सो वी आर फाइटिंग फॉर हिम बिकॉज ही कैन नॉट फाइट फॉर हिमसेल्फ and that's why there were expectations from family and mostly sisters. And now that we are not seeing that, we will continue to fight regardless, which we have been doing. But yes, questions will be raised when your actions are not in line with your expected behavior. Then questions will be raised. I mean, you
yeah,
cannot, you're saying that okay, I opened a page for Sushant Singh Rajput because he was my brother, and then you are posting pictures that okay, I'm going for a dating or something, like, I mean, that's okay, but it's your personal life, you should do whatever you want. But I think that people follow you there because they want to see some update about SSR. You are
yeah.
going to praise Ankita Lokhande, show your open support to her, right,
Mhm.
while she is inviting Snake Singh on her birthday party. So all of these things are fishy. These
Yeah,
things are fishy. And I would not give any importance to Crocodile and her cabal. I
yeah,
think I have already exposed her far too many times now. I'm even
yeah,
bored of exposing her time
mhm,
and again. But I think it is for the people to understand what they
mhm,
want to do. And Crocodile has been always like this. Even when she did not have any followers and no attention, she acted as if, like, she thought very highly of herself. I think she still thinks highly of herself.
yeah,
But yeah, their karma will take care of them. And I really believe that their realities, which are already out and known to people, more people will eventually know and get awakened.
yeah. Tezpur says there is news that the duplicate police in Cooper, covered with mask and helmet and look-alike of Ganesh, has committed suicide. Okay, that's news for us. We didn't know about that. And
Oh,
yes, he looked very, very close to Ganesh. His image was very much similar to that of him. Is this
yeah, but
something you
see,
want to take,
but that chap is
Saffron?
too timid to take his own life.
Yeah,
He might, like, when he gets अगर उसको दूसरों लोगों से पैसे लेने से
uh,
फुर्सत मिले तो वो अपनी जान के बारे में सोचेगा. But I
yeah,
think I
yeah,
think, yeah, he is a very questionable character.
yeah.
And
You want to
yeah,
take
I
this one?
think Meena
Is
ma'am
Bharat
is.
a believable person on the thing he told about the witness who saw the people who went to SSR house?
I wouldn't comment on whether Bharat is a believable person, but I would say that the witness was fake and I had already exposed it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Now moving on to another very interesting fact. You remember Shilpa Shetty was trying to going to divorce her husband the moment he was caught in this sex video case. Now, strangely, Raj Kundra transfers properties worth rupees 38.5 crores to wife Shilpa Shetty. According to Zapki.com, Raj Kundra has transferred the entire first floor of a building with 5 flats and their Juhu sea facing bungalow to Shilpa. It is said that the actress paid a duty of 1.9 crores on the transfer deed. Reportedly, the house is 5,994 square feet, and the transfer of property was valued at the current rate of rupees 65,000 per square feet. Now, see, look at the double face of these people. You see that initially she said that she's going to divorce, she's going to live alone with her children. And then after this thing was, he got bail, then they were quickly going temple hopping. And then they decided to be very, cozy after this big boss, when her sister was involved, they had a party and all that. And now it's come to giving her a very expensive gift. Look at the way Bollywood behaves. Now, see, for you or me, for a common person, to say a lie is very difficult because we are born and brought up with moral values. The first thing that our parents teach us is that try to be honest. Even if it's difficult, even if you have to swallow the pain, be honest so that you can sleep peacefully at night. You know, it may be difficult initially, but once you've said it, you can sleep peacefully. In Bollywood, it's exactly the opposite. The more lies you say, the more successful you become, and the more you cover up all those black deeds that you do.
And that's why like some people do have shame that when they have a like girl child, or even like a guy, like a boy, they try their best not to put them into this show business because they know what kind of filth it is. So there is that little conscience they have, at least for their children, that our children should not suffer through the filth that we have seen. And I mean, regarding like the ethos that we take from our parents, I would just say that children look up to their parents. So if I can only tell my kid not to indulge into bad habits if I am not indulging into any bad habits, right? So मैं दूसरे को गुड़ खाने से तभी रोक सकता हूँ जब मैं खुद गुड़ खाना बंद कर दूँ.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the most critical things. These children in the grown up in the cabal, they always look up to their parents. They see how they behave in public, they see how they are behaving behind closed doors, they see the kind of politics, manipulation, drug parties, sex parties, and interaction with underworld, all the illegal stuff of hawala, money laundering, and having soft heart for Pakistan and the terrorism, right? Having beliefs which are totally against the Sanatan Dharma, right? And how they get brainwashed on how it's so cool not to be proud of our religion, and like copy everything from the West. And I think it flows down all the way bottom, like to the from the top of the pyramid to the bottom, it flows down to the general public. And that's why you see that most of the kids, they grow up in a very deracinated environment. They have little to none knowledge of their roots, and everything that is Indian or Hindu is kind of looked down upon.
Yeah.
And the parents also don't take it seriously to make it a point that the childrens are at least aware of the traditions, their lineage, their roots. Some of them have started doing so, but still a long way to go.
Yeah. So in this case, some people were saying that see they would not have paid Vasuli, so Rajkundra would have been a problem, whereas Ekta would have paid her Vasuli, so her she's safe and sound. Now here, look at the the all the things that happen exactly after this. So many situations. How Shilpa Shetty wriggled out of it. You see, first what she did was she said that she has absolutely no idea what her husband was doing. Okay, despite the fact that one of the companies was named after her son, a young son, okay, an innocent son, that to a pawn site. Okay. Second thing was she was kicked out of some shows. She begged them to come back, and the moment she got back into those shows, she was overacting, to cover up for what she was talking. Okay. And now she knew that she had lost all the fame that she had got as a because see, it's not people are giving her the importance. It is these paid photographers, paid photographers who give her importance. Wherever she goes, they're busy taking her pictures. So now she lost all that. So what did she do then? Okay, now it's becoming a little dicey. Now let me leave my husband and say that he no longer is connected to me. So that was the third move, you know. And the fourth move was that, see, the moment he came out of prison, she realized that, okay, now the cabal is okay with it. Now let us get back to situation, one. And they come back together. So this is the same thing which happens to every other couple in Bollywood. It's the same story, you know. They first of all they shift from one partner to the other, and then they try to say that, see, everything is hunky dory, we're a happy family, nothing behind the scenes. But we all know, because everything behind the scenes was exposed by the women, who were exploited. Okay. Now, see, under Ekta Kapoor, these women are not revealing themselves. Perhaps they are under threat, you know, or they are being paid double or whatever. I don't think they pay paid double, because most of them complain that they hardly ever get money, and they have
No,
to, yeah,
I think they have invested too much of their time and energy in it now to speak against these people. They have realized that ye to aisa hi rahega. We have invested our 10 or 12 years struggling, getting a mark. At least we are getting one show. If we
yeah,
turn against these people, we might get killed just like SSR. अरे SSR को इन्होंने नहीं छोड़ा तो फिर ये लोग क्या चीज है? SSR was a
yeah,
brilliant soul, and these
yeah,
guys were nothing.
yeah,
So by murdering SSR, this system has given a strong statement to all other people that
mm,
तुम कुछ भी कर लो, हम तो तुम्हारे को ऐसे ही ट्रीट करेंगे अगर
yeah,
आप चुप नहीं बैठोगे, या फिर
mm,
if you are not going to fall in line, you will fall by the wayside. That
yeah,
is what the message they gave, and that's why
mm,
you are not seeing any celebrity talking about it. No celebrity from the showbiz industry is even interested in talking about SSR case.
yeah, absolutely. Now, see,
So
Maya comes out with an interesting point. Maya is saying, is it true that Wazi is being tortured at Taloja to change his statement by the very same police he was a part of? If so, then karma is so true to its target.
it could very well be the case, Maya ji. It could very well be the case because, like I said, these people are not loyal to even their friends. So Vaze was used as Vaze is no saint either. First of all, let me speak.
He
Vaze's
was the one who
reputation.
tortured the most. Yeah,
Right, exactly. He has been the Vasuli Aghadi's lapdog since a long time, and he had. It is said that he had, like, baby penguins and papa penguins number on speed dial on his phone. So you can see the equation he had, and now just because people want to save their back from getting screwed, they are trying to push the buck on Waze.
yeah,
That being said, Vaze must have known a lot of things. Now, like Minaji also said that there are moles everywhere. There could be moles in agencies also. We don't know,
yeah,
right? We cannot say
mhm,
for sure. But now the buck stops at agencies, the buck stops at the political parties, and the buck also stops at the judicial process. So all these things, they need to fall in line. They need to have somebody who's full of integrity, like Mr. Samir Wankhede. People like him need to be involved in these processes to get some measurable update. Otherwise, I see this case taking the same turn as Dabang's case took when he ran his jeep or car over the footpath on the people and killed them, when he went into that black buck case and nothing happened. So you can see that these are all heinous crimes committed by the rich and the powerful, and how they have gotten away with it. And we are constantly seeing this happening in our country, which is
yeah,
a very worrisome factor.
yeah. Interesting point by Reshan Paul. Ma'am, I spoke to Mr. Vikas Singh, the lawyer of SSR. He simply said, not interested to investigate the case anymore. What is your opinion on this? Now, here again, see, I can only tell you what I feel. One thing is that, see, he bought a very expensive home in Delhi. Now, how did he get so much money? Okay, and that too in the most posh area of Delhi, and that too when the SSR case is going on.
Yeah.
Okay, because many people are being told not to pursue the case. You will get, very handsomely rewarded, so that you hush up the case. Now we don't know what's happened in this case, but I'm just giving you a hint that many people were asked to keep silent, even many YouTubers. So that I think should answer your question. Yes,
Absolutely. Voice of Press has a question. Do you two honestly
yeah,
believe there will be justice for SSR? I would speak for myself. I have very little hopes, but I can't say that there will absolutely not be justice, because a very like inside my heart, a part of me still believes that something could happen. But like I said, I have very slim chances. All we can do is try in our capacity to raise voice for justice,
yeah,
and the rest is in the hands of the agencies, the law enforcement agencies, and the judicial process. We have to let's just hope that some people of integrity are handling this case and will get us the justice that we
yeah.
so want.
Also, on one last point, see, I would like the viewers to understand that none of this are isolated cases. Okay, every sort of department, or every institution is connected to the other. So whether you're talking about the police, you're talking about the judiciary, or whatever, there is a role that everybody is playing in this. We do not know what and how they are connected, but everything suddenly boils down to things like sex trafficking, what do you call, other things like organ trafficking, you know, we're talking about drug abuse and drug, marketing or drug peddling. So many things, adrenochrome. So these
There are
things are all there.
there are so many druggies, organ traffickers, Khalistani elements who have infiltrated the SSR movement. I know them by name, and
Yeah,
I know a lot about them. But our focus should be on getting justice for SSR, because there are so many problems that we need to bring in front of people. But one thing is there, that let's just hope that the people like Samir Wankhedeji, more and more people like them are handling this case in the different departments, like Meenaji said, so that things will move forward in right direction, and we can see the not only the pawns like Tai, but masterminds like Baby Penguin behind bars, or brought to book of justice.
yeah. Also, friends, tomorrow Samir Vankade has, promised to come on our show. I'm not sure about the time, so we'll inform you about the time. So if you'd like to join us, please do join us. We'll be putting all the details. So in case he comes, please do come and join us. And once again, thank you, Saffron, for this wonderful session. I mean, this 1 hour just flies away every time we, bring you here, and the questions are, come in full swing. So thank you so much, Saffron, and we'll wait for your next session next Saturday.
The feelings is mutual, Minaji. With interacting with you and all our viewers is always a pleasurable experience, and it kind of motivates me as well. And I wish you all the best for your session tomorrow with Samir Wankhede, and please
Yeah,
continue this fight for justice.
yeah. Karthik, yes, it's a Sunday because I could not, see, he's a very busy man. And when I asked him which day he would like to come, he said Sunday. So, I mean, I think we need to sacrifice our time because he's always so busy and he's doing so much. I mean, this is the least we can do for our viewers, you know. So, thank you so much, Saffron. Good night, then,
Thank you,
and
Minaji.
see you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Yeah, good
Good
night.
night.